So now picking up on the conversation between the shaitan and Allah in Surah Al-A'raf chapter 7, after the shaitan puts in his request for time off, because we said in the previous ayah, he says, فَأَنظُرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. So give me this little bit of time until the day of judgment. It's not long left anyway. Let me have it, and I'm going to mess around with those people and see who I can lead astray. Now Allah replies with the approval. He says, فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمَنظُورِينَ. Basically, your time off has been approved. You are now of the delayed. And that's what the translation says. فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمَنظُورِينَ. Now, what's interesting is the shaitan's response to what's to come. Now, we got to break this down piece by piece because it's very, very interesting and there's a lot of information to kind of dissect. He says, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطُكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Right? So the first part says, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. Because of you, God, because of what you did, because of what you made me do, basically when he disobeyed God by not prostrating or not bowing down to Adam after Allah ordered him to do so, he says, because of that, and now this is where it gets interesting. لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطُكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Al-qa'ud in Arabic means to sit, and this is just a rough translation. But there's also the word al-jalus. So ijlis and iq'ud, they both mean to sit, but there's a difference. When you ijlis, when you just sit down, you're just sitting normally, not waiting for anything, just sitting down, taking a seat. But al-qa'ud is to sit down in anticipation, to wait, expecting something, or to ambush. You know how like if you're driving on a highway, and there's a police officer behind like a bush with a little radar gun, and he's waiting for somebody. That's qa'ud. He's just sitting there waiting. It's like, all right, any second now somebody's going to come speeding and I'm going to catch him. He's not ijlis, he's qa'ud right now, okay? So he says, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ. So I'm going to sit there, waiting in anticipation, ambush, ready to go. لَهُمْ صِرَاطُكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Now, our path to Allah is very clear. Okay, it's one path, hence it's called as-sirat al-mustaqim, the straight road, right? It's just one straight line from us to God, and it's very simple. He's given us some things we got to do, and if we follow them and execute them, inshallah, by God's mercy, He will grant us paradise. It's very straightforward. Shaitan now comes in and says, all right, let me get in the middle. So now between A and B, there's this little shaitan in the middle. So it's not so simple. So now the analogy of this to help understand is, imagine you're driving in traffic, and you reach the traffic, and in front of you is a very big truck. Okay? Very, very big, one of those big 24-wheeler big trucks, container truck. Now, it's in front of you. You cannot see around the traffic or around the truck as to what's behind it. You don't know how long the traffic is. You don't know what's going on. Is it an accident? All you see is this truck's back in front of you. So you have no visual, clear goal of what's behind that. So you don't know what's going to happen. This is what the shaitan means when he says, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ. I'm going to literally stand in front of them, block their view entirely with distractions, with tricks, with lies, with deceit, with fear, with anger, with sadness, with materialism, with whatever the case is, so that they can no longer have that clear sight, that clear vision to the goal. And what is the goal? Allah, إِلَى الصِّرَاطِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ الَّذِي يُؤَدِّي إِلَى اللَّهِ, that will lead to Allah. Right? Provided we follow it the correct way. And we ask for His mercy and His guidance, subhanAllah. So this is where He's saying, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطُكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. I'm going to sit in ambush. And if you're able to somehow, by God's grace and your strength, inshaAllah, you are able to deviate, to bypass the shaitan and his trick. Basically, you see the cop with his radar gun and you slow down and you're able to go ahead, then he's just going to move further down the road. And he's still going to keep coming back at you. He's not going to let you go. He's like, oh, that one got away. No, he's just going to take his pack up and he's just going to go further down the road and plant himself again and again and again. And each time he's going to manifest himself perhaps in the same way with more intensity or a completely different way to get you from your weaknesses so that you do fall and you do deviate from that straight path to Allah. There's a reason it's called the Sirat al-Mustaqim, Allah, subhanAllah. And we say it in our prayers every day. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path, because that path will lead, inshaAllah, by God's mercy and will, to Allah, provided we follow it. In the next video, we'll continue further into this conversation. Barakallah fikum. Take care.